Hey guys, we'll be starting in just a minute or two. Dev, why don't you say a few words so we can make sure they can hear both of us?
I am so goddamn tired.
Oh, I'm so fucking tired, it's not even funny.
My suffering is endless.
I woke up at 5:30 after having no sleep and pain for the entire night.
Roughly about the same.
Oh, I've...
Lower
It,
back, no likey.
oh, that's exactly it. Is your favorite part when it's in pain or when you try to like roll around to get in a comfortable position and it just does not happen?
And it just electrocutes you? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then like, oh, okay, this spot's kind of okay. And then your cat suplexes you in the spine.
One day you're just not gonna be here and someone's gonna be like, the cat sent her to the hospital, and I'll be like, that makes sense. Okay, it sounds like
I
they can...
mean, the dogs did that before.
Okay, sounds like they can hear both of us. You ready, Dev?
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to the With the Will podcast. We're here to entertain, inform a bit while talking about Digimon. I'm Mark, I run With the Will and produce Digimon on Blu-ray.
I'm DevQ and I am in retail hell.
Oh yeah, we're entering that time of year for you, aren't we?
Um, I'm going insane by hearing the constant Christmas music already.
I don't think I've actually heard any. I think I've somehow everywhere I've walked, I think I've just generically missed it.
Lucky.
Yeah.
I cannot escape it. I am covered in glitter and tinsel after every work shift.
Ugh. That reminds me when I worked at a movie theater and got off a log shift, took a shower, and sniffing the air while staying there, I'm like, oh god, I smell like popcorn.
Yes. It's like that, except cinnamon pine cone scent.
Yeah. Only time in my life when I've gone, I really don't like Flavacol was that moment. That's the butter
You're
salt,
sweating Flavacol.
basically, yes. Oh man, it was a bigger week than we expected, huh? Let's go ahead and start off with Liberator. Episode 7, Part 1, Select Few.
The highlight was Omekamon.
I will say this, it's weird, it never like... Omekamon is such a goofy looking guy, you don't expect him to just be very serious and giving a report.
Do you think he would be sillier, but
Yeah.
no.
And also Espimon's there and also being very serious with a report.
Like, god damn it, Estimon, I thought we were finally done with you.
Never done with Espimon. And then this was a good reveal of Violet as a member of the debugging team, waiting for like that exact moment for the reveal.
It's like, oh, that was actually unexpected.
And also, them remembering that Muchomon is technically Shoto's partner. Terramon has sort of just showed up.
It's like, I'm trying to think, like, does it mean, like, Muchomon is a wild Digimon? Or...
No, because remember
I don't know.
they had set up that generally the partners talk and everything. They just assumed that it was game programming, and we just didn't see much of Muchomon because Terramon showed up so quickly.
Partners you can have registered.
Also, banter quality was very good this time.
I would have to agree.
Yeah. Also, I think one of the interesting thing is you expect McQueenamon to be like a one-off unique thing with the way they're chasing him, and it's like, no, there's tons of those motherfuckers running around, and then they catch one and immediately there's another. It's like that's interesting, and I'm curious to see what
It's
that
like,
has.
where the fuck are these things coming from?
Yeah. And then I have to say, this was one of my favorite chapters, even though theoretically it's like the opposite of what these are supposed to be. Because realistically, these are supposed to be card game instructions, the comic. But I think
Yes, but
I think it's the most interested I've been has just been them plot.
and also the Metramon. It's just like, oh, he's a bigger dinosaur. He's chunky, and I love him.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun. Then we get Tips Column 12, which is basically like framed as a pseudo leak of information about the garden. I will say when I opened up that one to do the article, it's like, oh, it's just 3 images of text. That makes it easy on me. I'll let people read that for
Convenient.
themselves, but yeah. I do have one
Oh.
complaint though. Could they have made the images any smaller?
Yes, they could have made them like the
Like it is just text.
Digi wallpapers.
Just make them fucking huge. It is just text. There's nothing. And then we got art and profile of McQueenamon from the Liberator website. I will say,
Kind of freaky looking.
so I really like the art. Nothing makes this Digimon look worse than every half-assed attempt to clone a half of it on the other side. Have you seen any of those?
Thankfully, not yet.
Some of them have left in the seam.
Doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose?
Yes. Yeah, curious.
Okay.
It is very interesting how many little touches there are that reminds of other characters.
Honestly, the first thing that came up was from the Sonic the Hedgehog comics, like the roboticized citizens. It's like that's what it reminds me
Yeah, I
of.
saw a lot of people mentioning Bunny from the Saturday morning cartoon.
Yep, I love her.
And then moving on from Liberator, man, it's funny. We had mentioned that, who knows if they'll announce something at the New York Comic Con panel. That is a place where they could announce something, and damn, they did. A new
Yeah, I was not expecting quite this much.
No. So Digimon Adventure Beyond is a new trailer music video thing for the end of the 25th anniversary. So let's go over what is. First off, director Kakudo coming back is a nice touch. Although technically speaking, he said that he was not going to come back to do Digimon Adventure anime. So that lasted 5 years. Also, I very much
Does it
appreciate.
count as an anime if it's a music video?
I feel like it does because it's still that same through line. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Although I will appreciate that we have a new press photo of him.
Yes, it looks very
Because the
serious.
one everyone's been using for years is that one from some interview where like I think the same one's been used for like 6, 7, 8 years now. So he's returning
Yeah,
to direct. I love that he drew the promo image. Because like
it looks very
a lot of
nice.
people forget he does do art stuff. Like the CG work from Adventure in '02, a lot of that was him. Then
I
we
guess
get
people keep forgetting that, like, just because you're doing writing doesn't mean you can't also draw. Like they have multiple
remember he
things.
doesn't write. He's not one of the
Oh,
writers. He
oh,
does
directing.
he does a
Oh,
lot of shit though. Like most people forget that even when he was not the series director, he was running the audio board for much of Tamers and Frontier. Then we get to see new character designs for Taichi Yamato from Rai Nishimura, who's the chief animation director of the beginning. Great character designs, to be honest.
I am so glad Taichi has his hair back.
To be fair, he never didn't have it, minus in the epilogue.
Yeah, because this is supposed to be like around the time of the epilogue. It's like, oh, that makes it so
We don't
bad.
actually know where that is. They just say they're adults. In the epilogue, they were actually significantly older than they had been in anything yet. Like we're talking another 15, 16 years. This feels like 5-ish years after Kizuna, at least to me.
Hell, just sketches.
Yeah, I do think the weirdest thing about the hair was Kakato pointing out that if you check the hair in the epilogue, it's shorter, but it's actually the same design. They just really shortened it.
Which was a terrible decision.
Yes. Uh, Umeda Company's coming back to do the animation. They did Kizuna at the beginning in the first 25th anniversary trailer. So I think we can say the animation will be nice at least.
Ooh, I'm very hyped for that.
And yeah, Kakato's message basically, it's thanks to fans we're able to do stuff like this. It's been a while since he's worked on storyboards for Taichi and the others. It won't be long. He mentions they'll be working together a bit differently. And, he basically says it's to please everyone who's always believed you have a Digimon partner as well.
Aw,
Yeah,
it's
so
nice of him.
so the interesting thing is this is confusing people because it doesn't line up with information we've had, which is
What,
something in
January thing?
Well, here's the thing. We don't know if that was the concert or if they're saying they're going to announce something during the concert. So we actually don't know if something will still pop up on whatever that date is in January. We actually don't know. So it'll be interesting to see. Um, in line with Digimon Adventure Beyond, that was also the announcement that Digimon Con 2025 will stream in late March. That is when the
Neat.
trailer will premiere. I think Digimon Con is very enjoyable if you don't go into it expecting Digimon Direct with 50,000 things, which they've never promised for any of these anyways.
But everyone keeps expecting it
Yes.
and then complaining
And
when it
here's the
doesn't
thing,
happen.
2024 actually had like some like that when they announced the new Digivice. That was kind of mind-blowing that we got that. And really no one was expecting something like that, to be honest. So we will
Wish I
see.
could expect reprints.
I would still hold on because at some point that's when the extra stock's going to go up.
I'm still holding out hope.
Yeah. And then we got a teaser for Digimon Comic Volume 2. Paradox is the cover image, and he had to draw a cover for Paradox finally. Hooray. I don't blame him for Chapter 1 using that extra room, but yes, now that there's a glamour image for it, it can be shown off.
Like, oh, we can actually see the characters' colors
Although
now.
I will say, can we get some sort of glamour image for the Seekers comic? They're just using. Is that the only like nice image they have for it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I I wonder if production on that one's further behind because remember that wasn't originally announced. So I wonder if that's one of those things where they just keep that image on hand and they just don't have stuff. But yeah, so that will be in about a month. So I'm looking forward to that. I really wish they would spread them out. It is almost impossible to have like a conversation about 5 things at once.
Yeah, especially because we're trying to get it done in about
Reasonable
an
time.
hour so we don't die.
Yeah. Then Medabots S collaboration was announced. So
I was not expecting this again, but
no.
I'm delighted.
So first up, they announced that Grey Wars, Guru Metal, and Omega Knight are coming back to Medabots S, which is the current Medabots mobile game. Then they announced new characters, which is Mugendra Board, which is based on Mugendramon, and then Apocalypse the End. So I have two thoughts. First, for Mugendra Board, it's really just chibi Mugendramon.
Yes, and it's fucking adorable, and
No,
I want a figure.
no, I love it, but at a glance, it does not scream like redesigned for Medabots. It
No,
is
it just
just Mugendramon. Um, Apocalypse the End.
Reminds me of like the NEX Edge line of
Yes,
figures.
yes, that fits really. Then for Apocalypse the End, that is redesigned it really well. You some of the details you don't even notice at first, like how his chest is now like robotic.
Huh.
Everyone notices the mouth plate. But yeah, so that's a neat little touch. Then some other stuff they are doing for the club. First, they showed art sheets for the new characters, which worked really well. Then Digimon themed versions of various Medabot heroes. So a Taichi version of Ikki, a Daisuke version of Koshimaru, and a Takato version of Azuma. As far as I can tell, these are not costumes. These are actually separate characters you can get from Gacha and whatnot.
Okay.
Uh,
Assumed it was just outfits.
as far as I can tell, that's why their costume version is like their alternate characters. So it's Ikki,
Neat.
but in a Taichi outfit. Various campaigns, including some of the old ones running again, like the Omega Knight Omegamon event is going to be running again during this.
Makes sense.
Then two special theme Medabots. So Metabee Gomamon version.
I fucking love that one.
So there's two things. One, everyone notices the Gomamon skin. Did you know? I think we discussed it last time where they actually added Gomamon's like antenna ear flappies.
Yes.
Those are not on any version of Metabee, I think. And then Grey War's Evil Rex version. So here's what's weird. Evil Rex is apparently a Medabot introduced in this game like 2 years ago. Even when I was going to Medabot sites and trying to look up the character, there wasn't much about them. So I'm not sure if there's an obvious connection that I'm missing or something.
Like, not enough info.
Yeah, because I kept wondering, like, does Chika Sakamoto play the character? You know, is there some weird? Because that Gomamon connection is very specific. Because Metabee is Junko Takeuchi, who's Gomamon and Metabee. Like
That's
that's not,
beautiful.
like that's not a random choice. That is the voice actress for both characters. So I
Oh,
don't know.
that's amazing.
So I don't know if like the Evil Rex has some Digimon connection we're unaware of. This is a Japanese only game, no English, so tough shit. If you really want to, it's one of those things where I could almost imagine trying this game if it were available easily, but shame.
Oh well.
And then we knew about the Puzzle and Dragon thing, but so that has begun. They did a little trailer. Did you look at either trailer?
I did not watch the trailers. I just looked at some of the art.
The second one has a very familiar sounding narrator. I'm not 100% sure if it's who I think it is or if it's just they sound alike, but it sounds very much like a narrator we know. Then, if you buy a Taichi and Agumon gacha set, you get Butterfly and Braveheart to use as background music in the game.
Cute.
And then, a lot of art that is in. This is very clearly done by the Digimon Toei promotional team. It all looks really good. I think that is one of the best changes over the past like 2 or so years. Is all the promotional art has gone much higher up in quality.
And I love that little fat Greymon.
That is the gotcha.
I fucking love him. He's adorable.
Yeah. Um, the variety of characters is solid. So we get all the adventure stuff as you'd expect. We get the Wargame stuff. Then the allies and enemies set is really good, like Edamon's train.
Oh, that's funny.
And Paimon doing like really solid martial
Clown
arts
shit.
pose. It's just like good stuff. I was almost kind of surprised to see Wizardmon, to be honest.
Maybe they kill him off.
We'll see. So that's running now. I checked. It doesn't appear to be in the English version. And then Terriermon Assistant. Lab got 2 new episodes. The first was a Terriermon Assistant does a written driving test. I will say my favorite part of this was him getting upset over like the wordplay in test questions, where it's like when X, Y, and Z happens, are you allowed to stop? And he goes and answer and he answers, and the actual answer is, no, you're never allowed to do this. And he's like, no, that's not what the question was. And he claims that he got coached by Beelzebub beforehand. Then the second one is him doing another Digimon Adventure quiz, hoping to do better than he did last time. Spoiler, he did not, and he got more upset. And then he ended by screaming the Apocalypse attack name that he likes at the end of the episode.
That's adorable. I actually have to take time and watch that one then.
Yeah, that one's good. He's significantly upset that he actually did worse this time. And
It's like
then
he's a failure. Take away his degree.
then time to sip water for cards. Sip
Oh.
some water for these. Okay, ready, Dev? Okay,
Yeah.
first, Terriermon. Very cute art of it with Lopmon and some de-evolutions. The detail level on the lines and everything on this is really nice.
They look so squishy.
I know. So Patamon we've already seen. This is the Christmas card. Then Tailmon we also saw a Christmas card. These are ones that have already been announced for the English game. Half of them are already out.
Now we get to see them with Japanese text and a giant sample across her
So
face.
Ognimon, everyone seemed to fall in love with this card. With Ognimon and Agumon playing around.
It's very fucking cute.
Yeah, very good art also. Wolfmon. Wolfmon's good also. A lot of people did not notice Gabumon was here because of the text. It's far
Honestly, me either until you pointed it out. I thought it was just the log.
It's far more low-key than the Agumon Ognimon art. But yeah, a lot of people did not notice the Agumon. A lot of people did notice the Yukimi Bodamon.
That one I did notice.
Yeah. Tentomon, more Christmas art. I will say, does the Tentomon on here look drawn like almost perfectly?
He is. Although his hat looks a little weird.
Because think about how the hat would actually fit with the wings.
Yeah.
Mimi and Palmon, Christmas art. I need to see this with the sample art, because does it look like Palmon has tripped and fallen on the box?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Like she's like laying. It's a very odd pose. Gomamon and Joe.
This one's actually adorable. I love this one.
Piomon. I actually think this is one of the better ones, to be honest. The Piomon and Sora.
Looks like she's actually carrying the present, and
yes.
not like Palmon, who looks like she's just like
fallen
bonked her throat on it.
Yeah. Dinomon and Tyrannomon we got previews of a while ago, but still looks nice.
Yep.
Then let's see. Master Tyrannomon we saw. Pukamon's new art. This is amazing art. I love the sort of faux, flat, minimally, but also comic-y style to it.
Yeah, I love the kind of like the screen tones.
Yeah, it looks great. We also get the same look with Ganimon.
It is very nice.
Although I will say the one weird thing about this, does Pitchmon in the back look kind of weird?
Yes, but I think that's because we're used to seeing
like the point, you think?
Like the teardrop shaped bottom.
Okay,
but,
maybe that's why. Because I'm looking,
it just looks round.
Yeah, it almost looks more like a white Koromon.
Yeah.
Also, I think they drew Pitchmon a bit too big to have it look nicer, which might be what's throwing me off. Pico Devimon, great art, but we've seen it before.
Yeah.
Devimon is just great art. Like, man.
It looks badass.
Yes. This is one of the really solid ones. Paimon Ace looks great.
I have a mighty need, and I desperately want this fucking card.
The English version is only a few months away. That will probably be able to find easily enough.
Hopefully, I don't want to spend $10,000 on it.
Mochimon with a stylish Bubmon hat. I just fucking love this card. Yes, I have like nothing to say about this minus I love it.
Also, like the little Fanbeamon, like all the way in the background, are a
Yeah.
nice touch too.
I'm trying to decide if there's two, if there's three, or if that's meant to be another Digimon.
I think there's just three of them because they all look about the same shape.
Yeah, the one's just so like more blurred I can't tell, but I think you're right. Tentomon's great art. I love the like this above like looking down at this little oasis.
It's a very nice view.
Yeah. We got 2 pages of previews in V Jump. Nothing super well in V Jump we haven't seen, minus that Justimon X. Although we saw the art, we have not seen the card before though.
Yeah.
Then early in, see, this is where now that we're getting to the point of unified card stuff, the solicitation data show up earlier for the English ones now. So April 18th, 2 starter decks: Protector of Light, Hero of Hope, War Greymon, Metal
Yeah, I
Greymon
wonder
trump
what
cards.
those will be about.
Look, anyone who didn't see that the soft reboot for the world would be Digimon Adventure themed didn't think it through. It makes perfect sense. Although it is interesting that this is like right around the 5th anniversary of the card game. Um, so they talk about how the decks are basically designed to be great start for new and also to fill out decks for other stuff. They can also be combined to make one deck, which, gee, I wonder what that one deck shall be.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Some decks will be lucky decks where the Agumon and Gabumon card will be swapped out for a special version. And they
Oh,
are,
that's mean.
yeah, I think the last time they did this was it that Terriermon Lopmon deck? I think they swapped out a Rapidmon card. I think.
Sounds familiar. I
Uh,
don't know if that's the exact one.
and then they are going to
Oh wait, it might have been the Impmon.
I think that
I
was
think it was
the
an
I,
Impmon
th-
deck.
I think that was the one before the Lopmon deck. I think that's where they did the Beelzebub card was like purple foil.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that one I definitely remember.
that one I do. I think the starter deck after was the Terramon Lopmon one, and they swapped out Rapidmon for like a gold plated Rapidmon. I think. Then all 6 scramble cards are getting reprints new art. I think we've seen the Japanese versions of those, but I don't recall. Then a week later, we get Booster Set 21 World Convergence, which is the first booster set, which will be the same in Japan in English. Uh, Digimon Adventure, Digimon from other TV anime also. Uh,
Surprise, surprise.
New Digimon Liberator stuff. And they also mentioned that it's nearing its 2nd year, so I guess it's ongoing. And they mentioned Owen Dreadnought and Zenith getting new cards along with Elizamon and Ragtamon. And then something we've been waiting for about a year. Do you remember when they had fans vote for which cards that they thought had the best art?
Yes.
And then they went, these are the 6. The same artists are going to draw new versions of those cards. That is going to come here as a box topper. So War Greymon, Kaiser Greymon, Dorogoromon, Dukemon, Gaomon, Mastamon by Naochika Morishita, Sasasi, Toriyugu, Tona Mikanji, Asmari, and Nakano Haito. They mentioned alternate art cards from illustrators outside of Japan, which will only be in the English version. Uh,
For now.
new art for existing cards with autograph cards. Another serial number card. So they're going all out for this one. So we will see what this actually looks like. I'm very curious to see how previews are done. Like if they are smart, what they will do is English and Japanese previews will just go up at the same time for each card. It I feel like they're not smart enough to do that though.
We'll see.
Then the 25th anniversary set for the anime was announced, and it's coming out both Japan and the U.S. Parallel
I
cards
think I'll
for
keep passing this one.
yeah, they're using the art from the 25th anniversary key art for everyone. The solution for Haru is, I think, one you said you thought they might do, which is they're not going to give Haru a card out of nowhere. but it would be an option card or something. I want to say you said you thought they would do that.
I don't remember.
The card they chose is good though. Future Potential is the 25th anniversary anime card that came with the Digivice.
Okay.
So it's a card specific to the 25th anniversary. I will say, the way they did the calendar thing on these is confusing the hell out of a lot of people, and I don't blame them. Have you looked at the cards and noticed what they've done?
It's like they have the series that came before it listed
Yes.
on it.
Yeah, so they have before and after listed at the top and bottom, with the series itself in the middle with the Digimon name. But the number is so prominent, it looks like each one is wrong.
Yeah,
It isn't.
I could definitely.
It's just a weird design thing. They do the same for the anime after. It's just harder to see that one because of card text.
Not the best design choice,
I I
honestly.
I understand why they did it, but I agree with you. Is it it's distracting. I think it might have helped if the blue in the middle was a bolder blue instead of it being so prominent on top. Like maybe alpha layer it a bit or something.
Yeah, or have like the before and after series like more faded,
Yes.
like into the background, and have the current series like more
Yeah.
popping out. So it's kind of like a rolling sort of thing.
Yeah. The dark blues is too prominent.
Yeah.
Battle Pack 25 has been announced. It has new cards of Tyrannomon X, Bishop Device, Coelomon, and Dokugumon, plus winner packs. I like that they started doing the winner packs. I think it's better than just having one of the cards get a variant. Okay, what do you think are the best and the worst cards from these four?
Uh,
Because I have an answer, but I want to see what you say before I say my thoughts and why.
Honestly, the worst card is the Rook device. Just aesthetically, it's
So
just
for the Bishop Device, I don't disagree, but it's not the one that I dislike the most. Okay, which do you think is the best?
Tyrannomon. I'm sorry.
Okay, so mine are roughly so Dokugumon I think is the best just because the art's really nice. I don't like Tyrannomon X for a specific reason though.
Not enough spikes.
No, so if you remember when we first saw Tyrannomon X, we went, "Oh, they made it look more dinosaur-y and not like Tyrannomon."
It's hard to tell from this angle.
From see this to me, it looks more like Tyrannomon just with the extra spikes rather than looking like Tyrannomon X.
I think like the foreshortening makes it look like the more squished
Yeah,
kind of like
yeah, the heads.
cutesy Tyrannomon.
Yeah, that's why I don't like it. It's good art. It just feels more like Tyrannomon with some X accoutrements. And then we finally get to see our first signature card for the card game. It's Gilmon. I don't know if I like that signature though. So that is the Kenji Watanabe signature. I assume that will be like gold foil on the card, but on the preview it kind of doesn't stand out.
Yeah.
Like I assume that's gonna be like nice gold foil on the real cards will be fine. In the previews, that looks kind of mild, I would say.
Glad.
Yeah.
It'd be actually really cool if it was like also like kind of like embossed or textured.
I'm hoping it's like a hell, do all three. Go do gold foil embossed with a texture around it.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping for. Card Battle 190 was a quiz on the BT19 rules with some solid drawings. Then 191 was them showing ways to slightly change your decks to improve them.
Okay.
And then moving away from cards, so V Jump had a few product previews. They showed off the Monster Hunter V Pets.
They still look really fucking cool.
They do. I'm a little surprised they have not popped up at Premium Bandai USA, to be honest. Then we also get to see the Crest Blanket and Agumon Digig again. They also show off both game collaborations a little bit.
Eh.
Then, so the next one's interesting because most people don't know what it is, but people who do know what it is, I know multiple people who have ordered this not knowing if it would work for them, just on the off chance it would. So it is a Pika card with a clear pass case. Let me explain what this is. If you have a transit card or other type of, you know, NFC, your technically your credit card, but it's more meant for pass cards or refillable point dollar cards.
Yeah.
You put the card in the case along with the card that it comes with. Most people don't know that those things actually transmit a very small amount of wireless power over the radio frequency. The card
Hmm.
grabs some of the power and lights up.
Oh.
So let's say you have a transit pass and it's compatible. They give the radio frequency somewhere, but I don't even know where you would find that out for like your local stuff. So you put it in the same thing, you put it on the card reader, and if it's compatible with that frequency, the crest actually lights up and everything. So the reason they're showing it with two images for each one is they're showing it like light up, like the name of the Digimon lights up in Digimoji. So yeah,
That
so
is really fucking cool.
so yeah, so I know, so a number of people have ordered these going, I don't know if this will work with my local train or bus pass or whatever, but I have it's low enough that people, because after dollar yen conversion it's like $12 or $13. So a number of people are ordering them just on the off chance they will work. So yeah, that is very neat. I really hope we get to see some of this being activated. I don't know if it'll work with like credit card type stuff though or not. I just don't know enough
I
about.
doubt it.
I just don't know. See, that's the thing is I don't know enough about NFC and cardless reader stuff to know.
Yeah, it's not like we live in any places with, functional
Well,
public
that's
transit that we can use to test it.
I certainly don't. I don't know about public
Yeah.
transit out where you are, but yes, it it is. This is a very
It
desirable
makes sense.
accessory if you do live in a place like that, though. But yeah, so if anyone does get it, I would love to see video of it working outside of Japan. Yeah. See, that's why I'm wondering because a lot of credit cards will have touchless stuff now, and if the frequency's right, it'll work. But I like that it's not expensive for a neat little accessory, honestly.
Done. I want one.
And then talking about something that costs a bit more, the limited color version of the Omegamon X amplified kit, although not as expensive as you'd think. Uh,
I
5,940
expect it to be like
yen.
a good $20 more than
Yeah,
what it actually
this ends up
is.
being about 45 after conversion, and U.S. pre-orders are open also for 66, which seems about more of what I expected.
Yeah.
I will say, uh, still not quite as fancy as like the War Greymon, but it does stand out more in the Dukemon one.
Yeah, the Dukemon was yeah.
Dukemon one was
If you
flat.
showed me one of them, I would not be able to tell which one was which.
No, and that was our complaint with the Dukemon one. It's not that it was bad. It's just Dukemon already had such good coloring that you looked at it, you just went, I don't know what the difference is. And then, so Annabirth, I will say one difference between Limited Base and Annabirth. I like that with Annabirth we get like the mini waves of stuff rather than just like you remember with Limited Base would be like, okay, it's time for pop up shop X, and then there'd just be 70 things all at the same time.
Yep, and then it's gone instantaneously. Fuck you.
Yeah, Annabirth, I like how we get mini waves of stuff every month or two, and it's there for months. So this time we get retro pop theme products. First off, art's
These are
gorgeous.
really fucking cute.
I know the art's so fucking good on these. These will show up at the Digimon Partner online store, but they didn't have a date last time I checked. So products are can badges, which are blind packed 440 yen, acrylic keychains 999 yen, character masking tape in 2 widths. So with the washi tape, I've never seen it be 2 widths before. Have you?
Me either.
I want to say the 15 millimeters the size we normally see.
My brain does not like to do metric, so
Okay. Clear file for 440, a PVC pouch for 1430. The cassette tape style notepad is a little too retro for me, honestly.
I desire it.
The patch band, which, as far as I can tell, this is a high-end sticker themed to look like a band-aid.
Weird, but
Does it?
okay.
So for me, assuming I'm not wrong on what it is, does it feel too long for a band-aid?
It feels like a slap bracelet.
I God, we're old to remember those. And then locker-style keychains themed after the crests. I like the keychains. I don't understand what the locker theme is, to be honest.
Oh, I think it's the little
Is this?
coiled kind of like wristband.
Huh.
Because like if you're going to a gym or someplace that where you're like renting a locker.
No, that I get, but you don't. You okay? You think it just has nothing to do with the actual design of the crest thing?
Correct. But
Okay,
mostly like the actual like the
okay. I was looking at
little wristband
those
it's
and going
attached
like,
to.
oh, are there different keys I haven't seen? You think it's the wristband itself?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. And then another pop-up shop, the Tiny Collection, will be opening at 3 Marui shops, one in November, one in December, one in January. I love the going with the Baby 2 plus Plotmon theme and also Kuramon.
I fucking want the Kuramon plushie so
Yeah,
badly. You have no idea.
so let's go over these. They will be sold at Mitomast once the last shop ends. And the thing about Mitoma, and this is where this is dangerous for you, Dev, they have actually have Bai integrated into their site for non-Japanese orders. So one,
Fuck my wallet.
so once the shops end, you will be able to just buy it, which means you have no excuse.
That Kuramon is mine.
Yeah. So products, Hollow Charms, 9 type blind pack, 440 yen each. You can buy a box. Freestanding acrylic stands. I need to see a larger image of this to see how. I assume it just has a little flap of plastic at the bottom.
They might just be like thick.
Yeah, that would work also. Same price. Holographic can badges, clips. Each of these are 550 yen. You can buy a box. Clear file. I actually like the design of the clear file where it has all the Kuramon on the back.
That one's my favorite.
Round cushion.
Just give me all the fucking Kuramon.
Cushions. I like when they do
How
the
big
random
is that?
cushions, to be honest. Memo pad set. I don't like the memo pad set for a key reason. You're gonna know what it is.
Not really enough room to write memos on
Yes,
it.
unless that is just like a cover. There is no room to write shit on these. Compact mirror mug. I'm not getting
Yeah.
tricked on a nice mug again. That fucking happened at limited base. I'm never not gonna mention that fucking mug. I hold that mug
Tiny ass
and
bugs.
it's like I'm the Hulk. Hulk want more than 6 ounces of tea. Multi mat. So this looks like one of the big desk mats for a computer to me.
If it is, I definitely want that fucking Kuramon one.
Yeah. Pouch and Kuramon stuffed toy, and that is a good price. I need to know the size for that price though, because that is like $16.
I don't care what size it is. I desperately need it.
Yeah. And that is
Oh my
why.
god, imagine just going to okay, imagine cosplaying at a convention as Daisuke and Ken and carrying a whole bunch of these little
See,
fuckers.
Dev, you are the perfect example of why would people go. Why is it always adventure? Because you see this and you instantly go, I need at least one, possibly 10. Meanwhile, the
Yes.
Offmon plush from a couple of years ago is just sitting there.
Collecting dust.
Yes. For every 3,000 yen, you get a character card of one of the babies. And if you pay with an Epos card, you get an additional one as a gift. Will say that Kuramon plush is wildly even if it's like really small, that is a really affordable plush. And the fact that you won't need to use an intermediary makes that dangerous for some people. Right, Dev?
Oh yes, it is so dangerous for me specifically.
Yes. And then poll info. So poll results for favorite Ultimate Digimon ad to Pendulum Color 1 through 3. I think you called Mastamon.
Absolutely. I called the waifu winning.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it would be by quite that margin, but yeah.
I will say the spread here is very solid until you get down to about 13. Although I would have figured Blastmon would have gone a bit higher. Although that Blastmon is also a good example of how internet speak does not equate to reality. And poor
Like also
Cthulhumon.
he's like Cross Wars and a villain character and not quite as cool design as the ones on the list above.
Yeah. Uh, I'd say the one that probably had the best showing compared to knowledge of it is probably Calismon. Maybe
Well,
to
if you like V Tamer,
yeah,
that's the one you're probably going to vote for.
maybe Talakmon being so new. But even then, that's not like a wildly high result for Talakmon.
Percentage wise, it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
Like it's a believable
I
number.
more mean that once you get past the first two, everything kind of drops off.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's like waifu and puppy.
yes, and then the new poll is favorite Digimon add to the Pendulum Color 4 through 0. There's some wild, so just going through ones that I think are potential top draws. UL Force, Rafflesmon maybe, um, Zaphagamon, Ragnamon, Zekramon, Brigadramon, Dominamon, Siriusmon, Arcturusmon. There's a lot of potential here. I think the one that will break things the most is having 3 Gamamons.
Yeah. They're gonna kind of cannibalize each other's percentages a bit.
I'm curious to see how high those end up because I could see them cannibalize. I could still see 1 or 2 of them doing very well though.
I feel like
UL Force.
absolutely.
UL Force feels like if there's an obvious winner, it's UL Force.
Yeah, I feel like Chaosdramon is probably gonna be like the top third.
Also, looking at this image, does is Cernomon like absurdly big here?
Yeah. Like how big is the deer supposed to be? Is it supposed to be like the fucking forest spirit from Princess Mononoke kind of huge? Is that what they're
Apparently,
going for?
apparently. So we'll see what pops up there then from weekend batches. So Demetramon gets added to the reference book. I love that it still has the bow.
I want to hug it. It is adorable. I
Uh,
also want to see it in a race against Wes and Gamamon.
they're both just gonna wobble back and forth.
Yes, and their short little legs.
A few previews of the 25th exhibition in Osaka. We just showed off a few of them just because they look nice. A display of the Omegamon X model kit. It really does look nice, to be honest.
Badass. I like the designs on the wings, cape, the thing from behind.
I like the box being more subtle, which they pointed out in the past. Tomo 1 did a nice piece of Liberator art to celebrate the chapter release. I like how after they did it, they put it up again without the release thing and just did a basic Liberator text so that people could use it as a phone wallpaper.
Nice.
And they pointed out, apparently that was a happy accident, as after they posted this, went, oh, the proportions are perfect for phone wallpaper. Usagi Bochi put up 2 pieces of art. Owen Dreadnought, and then Ryutaro to celebrate what they say are Ryutaro's birthday, and since they write a lot of the stuff, that would be as close to official as we're going to get. And then we got Liberator social art from the card game accounts in both Japan and the US. Shoto battling Yao and Lapin Marine. Could it be that right before the battle, this exchange took place between him and Terramon? which is Shoto wanting to play in the beach, and Teramon's like, this is a red flag. That is good SD art, though.
Teramon with the best expressions in the entire series.
Then the Toei Animation Museum put up art of Agumon wanting to go to the exhibition for its final weekend. That is good art. Or not art, a
Same
photo, sorry.
Agumon, same.
Good framing. Then we got a few pictures of the exhibition from its final day. I only chose a few to put up, which is the Omegamon display for photos, and Agumon and Gabumon looking at the anime calendar. That was a great photo. Annabirth put up a mess of high-resolution photos of previews of the new products. Just put a few of them in the card thing here. They're on the site if you want to look at. The detail and the art looks so nice. Palmon running with the stubbly little legs is great, though. Then art from Usagi Bochi of Shoto to celebrate the new column. They didn't really have much to say. They just kind of winked at there being a quote-unquote leak. And then time for you guys to chat to put up questions. Starting off with the ones that were sent in ahead of time. Someone asked, what do you think they do after Beyond? I don't know, but it does feel like this is a bit of a setup, don't you think?
You could see it being that.
Yeah, so we're at about time for a new show, I would think. It's weird because Ghost Game didn't actually end all that long ago. It just feels like it has. Yeah, Ghost Game ended a year and a half ago.
It feels like it's been longer.
Yeah. I think because both 2020 and Ghost Game ran for like a year and a half, it's like, okay, there were two shows starting in 2020. And it's like, oh, but that ran longer. Stark asks, do either of us have a favorite Digimon feel like Dragon's War, Deep Saves, etc.? Not really, to be honest. I've always liked the Virus Busters Pendulum, but that's less field and more, hey, here are a bunch of popular characters.
I go for Nightmare Soldiers because almost all of my favorites are in there.
Then some said, what type of cookies do we like?
Depends on the time of the year.
Yeah. I
Because,
mean, here's the thing. I like chocolate chip cookies. I like chocolate chip cookies with walnuts. Oreos are good.
Snickerdoodles.
Generically, if they have chocolate, I'm probably happy. I've never been one who's been a fan of oatmeal cookies.
Me either, like, sure they're okay, but I have to consent to their being oatmeal. I have to be expecting it. Because, like, if I pick up a cookie and it's like, oh, this looks like it's like a peanut butter cookie.
Yeah, I was about to say,
And
have you ever been to an oatmeal raisin cookie thinking it was a chocolate chip cookie?
yes.
Yeah, that's unpleasant.
The crushing disappointment.
Yeah.
It's like, if you say, okay, yes, these are oatmeal raisin cookies, like, oh, okay, sure, I'll have one. But I need to be expecting it. I need to want it and get what I am expecting.
That's a good answer.
But also more along like I still prefer like kind of like softer cookies. Like I don't like the hard crunchy ones too much. I had to be in the mood for those.
I can like them if I'm ready for them. Yeah. I'd ordered a bunch of Oreos right after I moved just to have snacks on hand. It's like, man, sometimes you don't have Oreos for a while and you forget how good they are. And then people keep trying to go, have you tried the Oreo soda? I'm just like, no. No, I have not.
The Oreo what?
There is Oreo flavored Coca-Cola.
No.
Oh, it's worse.
Fucking gross.
It's worse. The inverse exists. Coca-Cola flavored Oreos.
No.
See, here's the thing. The Oreo flavored Coca-Colas, I imagine it's just chocolate and vanilla flavored Coca-Cola, which sounds fine, even though I just want normal Coca-Cola if I'm going to have it, to be honest.
Like if you want a drink that tastes like a cookie, just fucking dip the cookies into like some milk or some shit.
I found a photo and pulled it up just to show you, Dev, because just so you can see how delightful they look. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I'll put this in the chat also.
Okay, not gonna lie, that looks kind of cool.
I will admit,
Although
I
it
will.
makes me think it's a Star Wars cookie instead.
Well, they have those too.
Yeah.
So I have two things seeing this image. One, I was not aware they put popping candy in it to emulate the carbonation. And two, that is a bold-faced lie on that packaging. Dev, look at the bottom left of that packaging.
God damn it, load, you fucking whore.
One,
Serving size 2 cookies.
yeah, that's not.
Serving size is 2/3 of the package.
No, 2/3 of the package or one of the line of cookies. Stark says they saw them at the table at work, tried one. He felt it wasn't pleasant. He didn't notice popping candy. I wonder if there's multiple ones. Because I could see them doing it without the popping candy. Or maybe it's like sat out long enough that the popping candy wasn't good anymore. Okay.
Possibly.
Dev, Stark came up with a third serving size. They say the serving size depends on how depressed they are.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. But yes, an Oreo serving, the lowest Oreo serving size is, did you ever get one of the Oreo packs with lunch where it was like 6 cookies?
Yeah, and those are kind of really sad.
Yeah, that can be a serving size. That is the smallest.
That's not a serving size, that's a disappointment.
Yes. Let's see. Devin asked, did Wallace have an original Digivice or D3 form? Was he the only one Adventure can to have his Digimon armor evolve with an original Digivice? He had an original, and his Digivice had nothing to do with the armor. Because he just had
He just
the
kind of like held
Digimental.
the whole
Yeah,
Digimental.
yeah. Um, but yeah, so he had an original. We don't see his Digivice. I don't know if we even see his Digivice when that happens at all. It's just magical egg time.
Yeah, he just holds out
Yeah.
his hands and it's just like, it is time for egg.
Yeah. Then some said, do you think there's a market to do the Anarworth or other pop-up style products in the U.S. in some fashion? I think in some fashion is the key here. I think that's the type of thing where you could do like a wave of it via Hot Topic or some other shop. Because like we were seeing some of the Miku
If they
Digimon
have them
stuff.
at conventions.
See, I think that's too spread out. I think like something like a Hot Topic or what's that one shop that's had a few Digimon items called like Oatmeal or something. I don't remember the name of it.
But I think Box Lunch?
Yes, that one. Like I
But
could
that's
imagine.
owned by Hot Topic.
Oh, Box Lunch is just Hot Topic.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like the preppy version of Hot
Oh, okay.
Topic. They had the same parent
Oh,
company.
so one is Mock Goth, one is Mock Preppy. Okay,
Exactly.
I understand. I had no idea they were connected, but that makes so much sense now that you've said it. I think you could also see, like, if they did an expansion of Premium Bandai, I could see something like that. Let's see.
Let me order the things.
Someone asked, in Adventure Canon, are all the Digivices identical, or did Homeostasis make revisions over the years? And they say, like, how Sony might revise internals. We've seen multiple versions of the original Digivice. We've seen at least 3. Um,
They just tweaked the
yeah,
design.
Louise is not the same as the ones we see in the flashbacks to Maki and Daigo. Are not the same as the one that the main kids have. So we've seen at least 3 versions of the quote-unquote adventure-style Digivice. So yeah, let's see. Someone said, what movies have been on the recently watched list? You want to go first, Dev?
Fucking watched any movies.
Okay, I have. Do you want me to go then?
Yeah.
A few days after moving, I watched Inside Out 2. Now, the interesting
Nice.
thing there is I first watched the original Inside Out like a month after I moved into my last place.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Actually, that was more like a week. So basically 4, 5, 6 days for both. Then I rewatched the original Beetlejuice before watching the sequel.
Still want to go to the theater and see it.
Legitimately pleased how good it was. I decided I had to watch the first one first because while always liked the original film. Most of my memories of Beetlejuice are the cartoon.
I get that.
So I decided I had to watch the first one again, and they work really well, honestly. Then let's see here. Someone said, should they do a Mucho Man parody version of Macho Man by the Village People?
Yes.
That does feel like that feels like it would match very well with the Digimon Mon like mock swimming commercials. So I would say yes. Just don't expect me or Dev to do it. Last chance
Be
in chat
silly.
for
No one can stop you.
more questions. Someone asked, based on what you see around the Digimon brand right now, what can they do to make you happier with it? Honestly, despite like a lot of people being ranty, they aren't actually doing much bad. It's just more like anime is getting break for a few years is not abnormal for every brand nowadays.
So please re-release the Digivice again.
Yeah,
More stock of the things that I want, please.
yeah. I mean, obviously more anime, more games, but like I'm not in any rush to get stuff. Like if it comes out and it's good, I'm perfectly happy to wait 2, 3, 4 years for stuff. I would not mind. Like here's the thing: do I think we're going to get ports of the Rio games? No. I
No.
still think there is a market to do something like port Decode, port the adventure game. I think there's a market for that. I don't really think there's a market for the Rio game, despite a few people demanding it. But we will see. Stark asks, are there any Digimon where you like the Champion Ultimate stage more than the Mega?
Absolutely.
There is. I'm just trying to think like what. Oh, okay, I got a good one. I like Stingmon more than Grand Kuwagamon.
Hmm. Actually, like Garurumon and Were Garurumon more than Metal Garurumon.
That's an interesting one. And Stark's example is they like Metal Greymon Rise more than War Greymon Shine.
Yeah.
And Stark says that just means I like Kamen Rider. I mean, I work on Kamen Rider, so that would make sense. But yeah, are there any others?
Also, like the entire Cyberdramon line, I like more than Kamen Rider Justimon.
I liked Justimon more when they didn't decide, oh, all three of the arms are now different Digimon.
It's so dumb.
There are certain things that I feel like worked better in theory than in actuality, like those being that. The other one is, this is kind of off topic, but Dev, you'll know what I mean. It was better when Chaos, Dukemon, and Megadramon, when they did not reference the connection every fucking time.
Yeah, it's like, yes, we understand. We get it.
Yeah,
We get it.
when it was a
You're
thing
beating
in
us to death with it.
when it was a thing in the profile art that was suggested, it was much cooler than when we just started getting art piece after art piece of it. Like when it was just this, maybe this is true, maybe it's not, who knows? And then they just start showing it constantly. It's like, that's less fun, honestly. Yeah. And that looks like that's the end of questions. Dev, what Wikimon article would you like people to read?
Pillowmon, because I'm
Sleep?
going to be hitting the pillow as soon as I
Yeah.
can.
I can be found at With the Wills always. Thank you everyone for joining us. We will be back in about 2 weeks. Thanks everyone for showing up. Bye.
Bye.